I'm delighted to have been able to attend the Nature Reserve School here at Oberammergau. It's my first visit and it's fantastic to be here. It's worth noting that this course, the Nature Reserve Forces Integration course, is sponsored by the NRFC, Nature Reserve Forces Conference, and I'm a member of that. And of course what that body does is we discuss framework for the use of reserves, which we feed back into the military committee, and of course every country will develop its own menu of use of how to use reserves. And what this course does, and provides a fantastic opportunity to do so, is to cascade the information down, have it discussed here, which in turn then feeds back up into my committee that I sit on to help us inform the military committee about how they might otherwise use reserves. So it provides a fantastic opportunity to cross-fertilize information, discuss it, share it, challenge ideas that we have, but also to get to know each other in a very, very good setting here in Oberammergau. I think reserve forces is an end-to-end activity. How we market reserve forces, how we recruit them, how we train them, bear in mind time is always going to be limited, how we maintain them, retain them within the system, how we then also make sure that they are operating in an environment where their regular counterparts understand what they can do, but also their employers and society understands what they can do, and therefore they're operating in an environment which is conducive to reserve service. So it's end to end. It's not one answer or one solution. It's everything that will help reserve forces be recruited and retained within each of our militaries. At the end of the day, we need the reserve forces both in terms of mass when we need it, skill sets, regeneration and connecting with our nations. The use of reserve forces are different depending on the countries. Some are operationalising and professionalising reserves, some are using them as home guard or home defence. I think what is increasing now with the threats that are around us and why reserves are becoming much more important and no longer used simply as an insurance policy to be used in the last resort, but now part of a routine capability. I think two key reasons. One, that we need new skill sets within the reserves. Combat now requires or warfare requires different skill sets. Cyber, medical, UAV are good examples. So the requirement is new skill sets, but also there's reality, fiscal reality. We can't afford the militaries that we had before because people's taxes pay for it and they want to know what they're getting for the taxes, and it's very hard when there's no existential threat to justify large standing forces. Therefore, the fiscal reality and the cost of defence now means that reserves play a much bigger role because they are a flexible resource, if you like, a fixed cost and a variable cost that you can step up when you need them and then step them back down again when you don't need them as much. A reservist typically has to balance three things: defence, their civilian work, and of course their families. And all of those, that Christ-Richard trinity, is hugely important, and it's not easy. We have, it's a choice they make. But we have to make sure that we deliver and make it easier for them and deliver the things that they want. So they want a good offer, progressive, rewarding, challenging training. We have to make sure that we explain to employees what the reservists are doing and therefore what benefits they can get from allowing people to serve in the reserves, or indeed people who are leaving the regular forces and coming back in again. So there's a real compact, not a contract, a compact between all these different elements to make sure that reserves feel they can join with comfort, knowing that the employer will be supportive, both in terms of employing them, but also in terms of promoting them as well. Families need to understand also what they get from us and what we're expecting from them. And that's a journey that all of us, I think, are undertaking right now.